I will start with a few questions before we open it up to the audience. But I'd imagine the first thing on a lot of their minds is the look of the film and the kind of effect it has on just the entire experience. So maybe we can start there. You shot your first feature on this phone, this Sony Ericsson, which I believe the first model came out in 2005 and around that time, and your feature was 2017. So already this was a device that was kind of outmoded. For your second feature, you shot the film on 16. So I guess I want to ask what prompted you to return to this device?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us here. It's an honor and we are happy. As I said, first of all, for the film, but also it's good to be here. And thanks for being here today and for staying. It has, but like very different reasons. On one hand, it's about the way of working, and the other reason is maybe the exploring of what I want to understand as a filmmaker, like how images should be and what story requires what kind of image. And I don't know, when I say like way of working, it means if you work in a very small team, like Dryleaf, it was me, Georgi, and our father who acts in the film, and he was also driving the car, and that's it. But the previous film was done more or less in a usual way with a team of 20 to 30 people. So it means like here I'm doing many things alone. Many decisions are made without speaking about them, which brings a lot, but which takes also a lot away. Like it gives you a lot of intuitional power, I would say, and a lot of energy in a way that you can see things and film them, or you can have an idea and make it without questioning, because sometimes question really don't help, because as Lisa in her letter in the beginning of the film says, she knows that she makes something maybe not so clever, and she knows if she gets rational about that, maybe it will be not the most right decision, but she wants to make it. And sometimes it's the same with making images, like you just want to make it, but if you start to discuss it, and if you really need to find the real reason why you want to do it, then maybe you say, okay, let's not do it. On the other hand, maybe you don't do this, but maybe other people suggest you something even better. So for me, these both ways of working are really tempting and interesting. So making the previous film, I was already dreaming about this one, and now I'm dreaming about working with people.
I guess I want to go further back then, because I mean, I hesitate to imagine the makers of Sony Ericsson envision this phone would be used to make films, and especially films that were intended for the big screen. I mean, to watch your film on a small screen is one thing, but to see it projected in this way has an entirely different effect on us. So I guess I want to ask you, like, how did you discover this phone, and like how did you realize it could be a cinematic tool in the way that you're using it?
It was 2009 when I bought this phone, and I really just wanted something to listen to music. That was I went to the shop, and because I had a phone and I had an MP3 player, but somehow I really wanted not to keep two devices with me, so I asked for a phone which can play music, and the consultant said, like, this is a nice thing, because it was like a beginning era of like smartphones, but I really don't want it to have. It was too new for me. But it's called Walkman. It has really like perfect menu to listen to music. But then apparently also to make pictures. Like before, I was never. I had never, like in my life, I used a photo camera before, like okay, sometimes, but not even as a hobby, because I was sure that I'm not made for that. That I don't have the ability to make pictures myself. I really can't remember when I got this idea, but somehow I lived like that. It was not uncomfortable thought. I thought I'll make films and I will always work with cinematographers and it's okay. But then with this camera, I started to make pictures myself, and I really liked them. It was really first time that I made an image, and then I saw it and I said, "Wow, it's nice," because before it was never the case. And I think it's an important moment that you like something, what you do. And after one, then I realized, okay, if this one is nice, maybe I can do more. And slowly it became like an obsession that I was making hundreds of pictures every day. Maybe now I have 1 million in my computer. But that's how also like you get skilled with some device. When you use it too much, a lot, you really learn how to use it. And with this device, main thing what you have to learn is how it works with light, how it reacts to different kinds of light, and in which situations it makes sense to make an image. And after years of work making pictures with this phone, I think now I really know. Yeah.
How much of the writing of this film was like influenced by your desire to return to this camera, or maybe a different way was your writing process gradually pointing you to using this way of shooting again? Because I mean, obviously the effect that this type of camera has on us, it's really like on a formal level, like frustrating kind of our like urge to make the invisible visible. But you know, obviously this is a theme that kind of emerges throughout this film, like on many different registers.
Well, while writing, I tried not to think about with which device I would shoot. I knew that I wanted to use this one, but anyway, the script was. If you see the script, it can be shot also with other tools, and it still could work, even though in this film, I think from the script it's there maybe 10%, and the rest is not there, like, because this was also like a decision made quite consciously not to follow the script, and it was first time in my life when I made this kind of decision, because I like scripts and I like knowing what I'm doing before, and it was quite scary to start something without, because I'm used to it, that I know, like I love doing storyboards, and I love like something like location scouting and finding places and then going there again and really knowing, being really prepared, and then kind of fulfilling it. But this time it was that the beginning and the ending, what is in the city, it was planned and it's more or less as is in the script, but the whole middle part, it's not scripted. I think it's impossible to script, like, I don't know, empty football field, and like, how do you write this? So it happened later that we found through our rights across the country that the film had to have this kind of form.
I do want to go back to this, that what you're saying, but Georgi, I do want to bring you in to talk about uh, the music, which I think is really wonderful, and I think it is so important in how it adds a different kind of I don't know, sense of like a fabulism to the film, like a storybook quality that is obviously present in the film elsewhere, but the music I just think adds an entirely new dimension, and I guess it's all your music is also the first thing we hear in this film, so it's as important to um, setting the tone as it is the images. So I guess I want to ask you like how did you set out on writing this music? What kinds of conversations were the two of you having? Were there reference points?
Well, mm, yeah, way of making music with this movie was really different from previous one. Basically, because we knew from the beginning that image will be also very different, and sound, and also I knew from Alexandre like way before that music that there will be a lot of music, like a lot, and it will be very important and very like it will have its own like independence as well in the movie, and and also I was involved during shootings. I was recording sound, so during movie shootings on the set, I don't had time to make music. So somehow we had to start thinking about music way even before shooting somehow. Yeah. And what really helped me was that because I had no image, no idea how it. I know how this mobile phone shoots for sure, but still I didn't have any idea about rhythm, tempo. What's probably most important for music, uh, and then Alexander gave me very interesting book called Platero and I, or Platero and Me. Oh, yeah, both.
Platero and I.
Yeah, Platero and I. Um, yeah, book from Spanish author Jimenez. It's a small book, and when he gave me this book, I lost for the first one, and then he gave me a second one, and gave me a book and said that I can use this book as a like guiding or a guide to feeling or rhythm for the movie. Not because the story is similar or something, but just emotionally I could already start to work on this movie, on this book, sorry, and then potentially it could work also for the movie. So that's how we started to work with the music. What came after it, it's more or less more conventional way of working, composer and director. But this part was more different for me at least. Yeah, but we also kind of struggled a lot with finding finding the right quality or right like colors or timbres for the music, because first thing what I tried when I saw the images to make also the sound and music also like kind of blurry, or to adjust to the image. Somehow then it didn't work, and then we tried another way to have sound more clear, more like with, I don't know, I could say high pitch or something, like more high end quality to have this difference between sound and image, and then somehow it worked the better. Yeah.
I'm curious what your reaction to reading Plato and I was first. Like where after reading it, I mean, how, how did it make you feel, and like where did that book take you sort of musically first?
Um, First of all, road, like something moving slowly, or not slowly is not the right word, because it gets its tempo. It's like right, very proper rhythm, tempo, and for me I was imagining this man with donkey and this relation between them, and this maybe even visualizing this scene, them doing all this stuff and like having this road together. And yeah, feeling wise, it really helped. Yeah.
Sandro, I guess on one level, this movie is about a father coming to terms with his adult child's absence or independence, and you've cast your dad in that role, so it adds like another layer of meaning, maybe. So can you tell us why you chose to work with your dad in this particular way?
Yeah, that was maybe one of the things which really not scared, but I was kind of thinking about it a lot, how to make it clear that yes, it's our father who is in the film, but this is not like autobiographical, or like there is no layer of our relationship in this film. And somehow I really tried to make it in that sense as fictional as possible, to avoid it completely, because I really wanted him there, not because he's our father, but because I had a feeling he, as a person, he would be right to do it. Also, of course, the way we worked was we were working for many months, sometimes then having big breaks, and then again many months, and really you need someone who supports you just completely. And because also, as I said, for example, when we were starting to film, sometimes we would have longer periods when we would go somewhere and I didn't really know exactly what we, or how we do it. And there you really need also someone who's super, who can wait, and without having problems with director not exactly knowing stuff. And I think if there would have been someone who is just professionally involved there, it would have been really hard for me to stay calm, because it's a pressure. You think you have to deliver all the time, and here I had a feeling, I can just be, and it will be okay. But also, I always see that this is a person who really enjoys to be in front of camera. No, it's like, is it like a family picture or something? He likes it. And one time we were driving years ago, and he said that now he's a translator for Arabic language. That's his profession. But that before studying Arabic language, that he was thinking maybe to become an actor. Then somehow he forgot about it. But then I said, okay, this was like there. He almost went to film university when he was, 18. Then he completely forgot about it. But somehow I think this kind of wishes also stay in every person. And then it was really like easy to communicate. Like when I had to just ask once, do you want to do it? And he was, yeah, of course. So differently from our mom, who's because she's also in the film, like the mother, who just doesn't want to do it. She never wanted to be an actress, and I just forced her.
Your uncle, your great uncle, is also in the film. Was he easy to convince?
Yeah. No,
he knew about this that you were filming, because he's
yeah, I don't know. I think when people get old, they become so cool. Like this was like because also, like, for example, when we were recording voices, we were at home with our little studio, and for all the invisible people and so on, and we would invite some friends who are like, I don't know, some of them are singers or even actors and so on, and kind of cool creative people, and you put them in front of microphone, and they get scared and they speak very artificially and can't relax, and we need like 100 takes to just say hello, I want water or something, and they are not able to do it. Then we go to our grandpa, who is like 90, and he does it in one take, just like and because I don't know, maybe it's and same was with our with the uncle of our father, uncle. I mean, it's not that he repeats something, or it's not we didn't make takes. We just went there and asked him to tell some stories, and then he didn't care for the camera. Yeah.
I'll ask like one or two more questions and I'll open it up. But I want to return back to, that you were saying that you used 10% of your script, and much of it then was improvised or just a process of discovery. It sounded like there was also a lot of stopping and starting, but I do want to ask you how you ultimately found the shape of this film, the duration of this film. Obviously, the structure is this road movie. We're being taken to these various football fields. So I want to just ask how you mapped that route, and I guess how did you ultimately find this to be the structure of the film?
Well, the structure is made in editing, and when I first time put everything together in the right place and opened this editing program, and then I didn't watch material just completely, but I put in right or folders and so on, and then I start to see what we have, and I got a little bit scared because it was so much, and it was also I really didn't know what to do with that, really. And then first thing I did was that I called him and said, okay, the only thing which will what this material needs is music, which will have to be really one of the main dramaturgical lines to make it complete, and without that it will be impossible that I can make film out of it. So that was my first thought, that I need this line, which is kind of the additional layer, which has to bring all of this together. So that was my thought, that what I said was that don't think that it's you are writing a music for a film. There is no film without music, so it's you should think about a work where it's work of two people. It's not like I make a film and you just make music for it, but it's complete co-working to make it happen. And that's how I really was following, kind of getting inspired through music and through its narration a lot.
We can start taking questions if there are any. Just please raise your hand and wait for a mic before you start talking. We can go here.
Hey, how's it going? First of all, I wanted to say I love the movie. I did definitely, you mentioned kind of storybook quality. I did feel it was very, I felt got big literary vibes from it. One thing I wanted to follow up on was a question about the music. Because we had such unreliable visuals, I feel like the music was one of the things that we could rely on the most to kind of set the tone and everything. And one thing that I was interested in specifically is obviously it's a mix of these kind of the score that goes with it, and then these moments of when it's just kind of the field recording, just the outdoors or just whatever. What was y'all's thought process when you were thinking, okay, because obviously this could easily become something that has a score it just travels throughout it to set the tone. What was your thinking when you were in that editing process, figuring out when do I want the nature to speak for itself versus when do I want to inform it with the score?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question because I, you never know. It's like you, because that's the thing. As Georgi said, like from the beginning, I knew that there will be a lot of music, but it has to have also a balance. I think, but then also I was sometimes thinking maybe not. I had moments while editing when I was thinking maybe it should be all the time music. Like, why not? I think it was moments when I panicked and when I didn't know what to do. But basically, why not? No, like, or no music. And where is the balance? Because if you take just one scene, every scene can be really beautiful with music. But then if you put all of them together, it gets too much. So I had to find this kind of balance, but later, because I was editing scene for scene, not like complete film, but like day by day. And when I put everything together, then when I saw it, it was clear, okay, it needs some breaks, and it's also matter of rhythm, I guess, to breathe sometimes, to have, because I think for editing, also for sound design, it's for me it's a lot of learning, because you just sometimes turn something off and it's so much better. And for that you need skills which I don't necessarily have from the beginning. It's a process, because I don't know, there are people whose profession is this, and they know it before they do it. They kind of, I think, have feeling where to put what. For me, I have to try it out and then maybe see. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because in most of the time we were working very at the same time in our village, in our summer house, in two different rooms. Son Alexander was editing and I was scoring, so he would edit like maybe 1 minute or something and directly send me, and then so I think at the end we had music for almost every scene, and then process was also maybe even more about like subtracting process rather than editing. So we were like, okay, maybe let's remove music from here, like somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
Question right here in the middle.
Hi guys, thanks for coming all this way. The look of the film is so unique, and I'm kind of curious about, how you would potentially advocate or explain why you decided to use this particular camera, this particular look, because it's a kind of technology that is kind of stuck in amber from this period, the mid 2000s. It's what we would call poor quality. It's not clear, but it's also, as you've demonstrated, it has its certain appeal aesthetically. So.
Well, yeah, there is so much to talk about. It's such an interesting subject, like generally how movies should look, and why certain looks are meant to be more cinematic and the other ones less, and how much it's dictated by industry or wishes of different companies, or I don't know, like, and how how many steps behind cinema is rather than other art forms which are much more free in that sense. Like yesterday also during the Q&A we mentioned like painting when which had this kind of revolution many years ago, no, maybe beginning the last century, when they said a color is enough, maybe to tell a story, or a simple shape can be more interesting than a photographic high quality image of some reality. And somehow with movies we still struggle to say that there is no high and low quality. Like, it's, if we understand every camera is kind of a brush for a filmmaker, it's, of course it becomes logical that everyone chooses different brush, and someone makes it's colorful, someone makes it black and white, someone uses 4K, and someone like, and every hand and every mind and every heart needs different tool, and someone uses stone, I don't know, like, so I think there should be much more freedom in that sense. But for me, this began with just a very simple but important thought that it's beautiful. Like back then when I bought it, like it was, as I mentioned, 2009. But since then, now it's 16 years already. Yeah. In these 16 years, of course, I've made some thinking why I think that it's beautiful, and why I like why this, like, first impression, like I saw it and I thought, wow, this is nice. Like, why does it happen that we like something? And I don't know, like I don't know how much time we have, but today we had a class with students here, and I mentioned I listened to a talk with a famous cinematographer who himself mentioned like what the beauty means for him, and somehow it I had a feeling it resonated with me. And he was quoting Leonardo, who apparently said that beauty lies in a clash or in a fight between light and darkness. And so for me it makes sense. I mean, it's if we think about painting or the whole image making, it's always there. I think, like, how much you show and how much you hide, and how much light you use and how much darkness you allow into your image. And I mean, this camera is all about that. Like, it's all about how much it tries to show more and how much it struggles because it can't. And always, but this trying is always there, especially in darker scenes. It's really visible, and this fight is constant. It never ends. So this is one of the layers when I think, for me, it's beautiful to see how, especially if you pan or if the sun is strong or too weak, you see the struggle, you see the fight.
I think we're running out of time, but so last call for audience questions. Yeah, we can take you as the final question.
Thank you both very much for being here. My question's about genre. I think that this is something of, or I took this to be something of a ghost story. There's certainly elements of a sports film here. And I'm curious, for both narrative and for music, how genre was something that you either leaned into or defied, or didn't think about at all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I really was not thinking about genre while doing, like, I really can't name genre. Only thing what at least I was thinking was more choosing instruments and sounds, and at some point it was just coincident that I just found this instrument, like, very which sounds very like Sovietish, like little bit, and then combined them with some classical instruments, and somehow it worked. But yeah, to name a genre would be complicated for me. But
Yeah.
maybe you could.
No, I mean, you are always kind of confronted now with if you start to make a film, and because
No.
with genres which I never tried before to follow certain, but it's not about what you want, but it's there. Like if you say that you have to have a car and you have a trip, it's already a road movie. And for the road movies, you have it has so much past, and you can't say that I don't care about that. You are already co-working with this past, and it's very interesting. I never I tried then when I understood that to watch a lot of road movies, and same with all these kind of. We have so many great films when people are looking for missing persons, no, like this, the whole half of the film history is maybe built around that, and that's also very interesting, but and very inspiring. I get that all this as inspiration.
I don't know what this says about me, but when the first like theme that occurs in the film reminded me of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is its own road movie. I don't know if either of you have seen this film. Never mind. But it's about a missing object as well. Anyway, we're out of time. We're out of time, but Sandro and Giorgi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.